All right, good evening, Springs School Board. We are streaming on YouTube. Meeting's being recorded. The phone lines are open. You may begin.
Okay, we just, before we go back to the regular meeting, we just got down to the next section. We discussed the personnel contract. Start the roll call.
Roll call. Patrick Brabant. Emma Fields. Dermot Quinn.
Here.
Eric Fredrickson is not here, and neither is Kate Saris.
All right, pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We are going to start with the public commentary for items only, just to remind everybody down there. We touched time them down about 3 minutes. We cannot discuss personnel, school district or anything else. And private information. So, anybody have any comments for agenda items only? Items, nobody?
Yes, LTV.
We have no call. We have no callers on the line.
No ballers? Okay. We're going to start with the budget presentation. Sam's going to bring us into that. Sam. 26, 27 already.
All right. Well, welcome to budget presentation number 1. This is the first of several presentations we're going to do to walk the board and the public through our spending plan for next year. I want to thank Jonathan LePage, your treasurer, for everything he's done to put this together. So we've had success last year with the voters in presenting a budget that stayed within the property tax cap, and so we will be moving towards that goal again for this year. So I don't need to sit here and read this to you. Academically and fiscally, the district is in great shape. You can obviously see your academic prowess there, or the students' academic prowess there, thanks to the wonderful instruction from the teachers and the administration here in the district. Fiscally, I think you're in excellent shape as well. As we said, we got off the state watch list last year, and we have had a number of successes in bringing a repair reserve into the district, as well, bringing a repair reserve back into the district as well, and a number of other really positive moves. This presentation, I should mention as we go on to the next slide, is going to be posted on our website. So in case a member of the public is not here and wants to be able to follow along, they can take a look at it. One of the great ways that this district has been able to save money and deliver quality programs to its students has been through intermunicipal agreements. Obviously, maybe most specifically to me, I am here under an intermunicipal agreement with East Hampton Schools, but you can see we've listed some of the other intermunicipal agreements, both that you are providing services for other districts such as Montauk or East Hampton, and that other districts such as East Hampton are providing services for you. All the districts are working with a cooperative goal of educating their students, and if you could do it in a way that allows the taxpayers to save money and allows the students to receive the same quality of service that they need, then all the better. I think everyone's all the better for it. So that has been very helpful. We're going to follow the same budget formation process as we did last year. Obviously, the district administration is consulting with teachers and staff to determine what the programmatic needs are. There's an examination of existing programs to see what's working, what's not, what needs changes, what needs improvements. We're gathering pricing, contractual obligations, best estimates, and then we're going to put all that together into a proposed budget. Obviously, we have to see where the state aid figures into all this. Hopefully, the state will be on time with its aid. We know last year they were not. And then ultimately, it's up to the Board of Education to determine what sort of spending plan you want to put before the voters. We are, as we did last year, looking to present you with a proposed budget that is going to stay within the property tax cap. The voters have been very supportive of the district in the past, and we were able to pierce the cap because of need 2 years in a row. Last year, we did not need to ask the voters for that, and we plan on not doing that again this year. So the budgeting basics here. You can see, obviously, the expenditure plan. That's what the voters vote on. That's what we have to spend. The revenue plan is how we pay for it. The budget is, as I say this every year, I'll say it again, it's an aspirational document. We can make certain plans of what we think we're going to need. Sometimes those plans come to fruition, sometimes they don't. We have to build contingencies into the budget because there are things that we just do not know at the time that we have to present this to the voters. And we are required to educate students who show up here, regardless of whether we know that they exist now or know that they exist on the first day of school next year or on the 179th day of school next year. So we have to have contingencies built into the budget for things that could reasonably be expected to occur. One of the greatest challenges that we have is that expenses are running away faster than we can keep up with them. The revenue, right, the bulk of the revenue is from property taxes. Property tax cap formula essentially says that we can't raise the property taxes by more than 2% plus certain exemptions every year, which is great if the expenses also only go up by 2% every year. And when the expenses go up by more than 2% every year, we have to figure out what has to be reduced from the expenses budget so that the revenue budget can fund the expenses. This is a great example here of how the expenses are running away faster than the revenue can keep up with them. This is your liability insurance. This is not health insurance. This is property insurance and liability insurance. And you can see that the increases are way in excess of 2%. Now, we probably have the best insurance that we can get in terms of this district is part of a cooperative of other districts that own this insurance company called NYSERD, New York Schools Insurance Reciprocal.
Of course.
But expenses go up every year. There have been losses throughout the NYSERD network, and so we have to be able to keep pace. We have to be able to pay this bill. And how we do that is we have to figure out what else we can cut in the expenditure budget in order for these increases. So we're going to break down the budget into the same sections we did last year, if the board is good with that. So let's focus on what we're going to be talking about this evening. You can see the general support, instructional areas, transportation, benefits, and debt service. It's laid out there. We can get into specifics if you need to. We're going to touch on some of this tonight. Go ahead. So obviously the Board of Education, it's a thankless job, so I won't stand here and thank you, except to remind the community that you are serving as unpaid volunteers for the betterment of the students and staff and taxpayers in this district. Your responsibilities are to adopt district policies, approve the hiring and dismissal of district employees, and oversee the public's tax dollars. It is a tremendous responsibility. You have a district clerk, serves as your secretary, and records the official actions of the board, and you present your spending plan to the voters each May under state law, where they get their chance to weigh in on that. The superintendent of the business office, this is the center of the district that supports and makes the district run, supports everything else that's actually happening in the classrooms. Superintendent of schools is the chief executive officer of the district. The business office oversees the purchasing, payroll, benefits, all sorts of other things that we need to provide to employees who work here. And there are a number of outside entities that the district contracts with: external auditor, claims auditor, legal services, and I can go into the specifics of those services if you have any questions. Facilities and security, this is how you maintain this building. We've said it before many times. This is the largest public investment that this community has made. And so we have an obligation to the taxpayers to ensure that it is well maintained, that it is safe for students and staff to be here, that it's going to last well into the future to the next generation of students who come here and the next generation of people who work here. The security department is responsible for ensuring the safety of all the folks who are here, especially number one, the students. We have a number of other areas that we're going to be looking at. Most importantly, the liability insurance and BOCES administration. So it's a mandatory fee. Whether we take all the services that BOCES has to offer its member districts or none of them, we are required to pay this mandatory BOCES administration fee, and that has to be part of the budget as well. So here's a look at some sections of the budget that we're going to focus on this evening. I want to talk about two highlights. So the first is security. You can see that there is an increase in the security. We are in the process of reforming how our security operation works. I don't want to say too much more about that in public. I think when we're able to present things that would be acceptable in a public setting to say without revealing anything about security that is not fit for public discussion. We can talk about that, but in order to help improve the security operation, we're looking for an increase in the line there. And you can also see that we have an increase in our facilities. Amongst other things, there's some staffing issues that are driving that increase, but also the cost of everything is going up. Obviously, facilities uses a lot of materials and supplies in their operation. And so cost of everything from power to from electricity to fuel to cleaning supplies, the costs are all increasing. All right. We're going to talk more about the budget in future meetings. So let's talk about our next steps. Obviously, we're going to present further areas of the budget at future meetings. We're going to be monitoring changes that the state is imposing on districts. The state loves a good unfunded mandate to dump onto districts. So if they have any of those changes, we're going to have to figure out how to pay for that. We are hopeful the legislature is going to adopt a budget for April 1st. That is the legal deadline. They have not met it in recent years. When they don't, it affects our ability to finalize our spending plan. And then we have a schedule of how we're going to do this. So you can see those are the coming presentations. February 10th, we're going to talk about the property tax cap limit. And so the voters will see what the ultimate levy is going to be. We're going to ask the board to approve our calculation that we've made, because we have to submit it to the state by the end of the month, by the end of next month. And so we want the board to be able to weigh in on that calculation. We're going to talk about the budget again in March. And by April, this all has to be done. The board will be asked to adopt a budget for presentation to the voters on May 19th. And the budget vote will be right here from 1 to 9 on that day. All right?
Thanks. I'm looking forward to a decent budget. I was just curious. You went back to, and I'm going to spend a lot of time on it. I was just curious, but I looked at the insurance increases.
Yeah.
In the last 5 years, doubled though. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, look, there have been a number of reasons why insurance has increased in recent years. I think most notably to the schools, particularly schools in New York State, has been the law that allowed victims of abuse to bring lawsuits against schools and teachers who have victimized them. Fortunately, none of that impacts this district, but it just raises the cost for every school district, regardless that those losses exist in the insurance network, and it's a reciprocal, it's not a one-to-one. So we, on some regard, rise and fall with the tide of other schools as well. There is some increase attributable to us directly to insurance claims, whether we have them or not, but in general, insurance has gone up, and I'm sure I can speak for my own property and auto insurance. It has gone up, and to date, I'm a relatively safe homeowner and driver. I hope that continues. Tempting fate since I'm about to drive home, but that is, I think, if any of you own a car or a home, you'd see the same experience. I wish there were a better answer. Unfortunately, there's not. One of the greatest advantages in belonging to the nicer reciprocal is that because we are an owner, we can't be dropped from the coverage. One of the problems that you have that districts have that don't participate in a reciprocal, that buy insurance on the open market, is if they suffer a big loss, the insurance company will cover that loss and then will drop them at the end of the year because they're considered a risk. We can't have that. We need to be able to know that our insurance is going to continue year in and year out. Unfortunately, that's part of the cost of doing business.
Any questions? No. Thank you. Thanks. I'm looking forward to the next step. Next one is consent agenda. I'd like to make a motion to approve items 4.1 to 4.4. Motion?
Second.
Favor aye.
Aye.
Good. Business and finance, I ask for a motion to approve items 5.1, 5.6 on business and finance items on the agenda. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Can you please review these items with us?
Sure. Thank you, Pat. We have a pretty quiet agenda. In the business and finance section, we have our usual monthly reports for the board, and then you have an agreement to approve with Guildhall. the musical felt like last year's presentation was a huge success. So they're excited to go back to the Guildhall venue if the board approves it. Yes.
Move on. 5.1 to 5.6. Approve again? Second?
Second.
Okay, that's great. You got approval to do the alpha, but those kids deserve it. I mean, it's a lot of work to the staff and everybody.
Yeah,
It's really nice touch up there. I've done the high school, I've done Guildhall does a nice
it's a
touch.
beautiful venue.
It really is.
It's really nice
It's
venue.
really-
It's easier on the production too because they staff it.
Well,
Yeah, it was pretty magical last year.
Yeah, last year was amazing. This year's going to be even better.
Okay, new business, item number 6, going over the school calendar.
Yeah, so this is obviously just a first draft, and we do have to look at what other districts do, what BOCES do when we create a draft of calendar, and we also have to consult with our teachers union. It's part of their contract. So everything is basically the same. Labor Day is really late this year, so it's changed the calendar for all districts. Labor Day is on September 7th. The first day of school for all districts is going to be on September 8th. We will have our superintendent conference days the week before, but it just changes everything a little differently throughout the year. The big difference that we have here when we presented this to the STA, to this STA, was that they chose, rather than having March 29th, which is the Monday after Easter Sunday, off, they would rather have December 23rd, which is the Wednesday before Christmas Eve, off. So that's something the board needs to look at and see what your thoughts are. It doesn't matter. They feel that that's just what is beneficial to families. A lot of families go away, and there's a lot of preparation during that holiday, and they feel that that would be more beneficial to families and to staff. So that's their request, and it's our first draft, as I said. Everything else is in complete alignment with East Hampton, except for that day. It's up to, I don't know what the board's, I know Eric had mentioned some people
Eric
would
mentioned
prefer the Monday after Easter, and this is something that we don't have to, we normally adopt the calendar sometime in February so that parents can plan vacations and different things for the following school year. So as I said, the teachers prefer to have the Wednesday before Christmas Eve. The other option was the Monday after Easter.
Has anybody approached Tumbleweed Tuesday? I know you're starting school on the 8th. I'm always one for that Wednesday starting school. Only because we do have parents and staff that rent the houses now.
The problem is if you take another day off, you have to take another day off someplace else, and it's very complicated. And we do always have to consider busing, because we have to bus students to, and you have to consider families as well, because a lot of families have kids both here and East Hampton, and childcare can be an issue where East Hampton students are watching younger students. So we try to be as close as possible. Okay, so you're fine with this calendar so far?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they want. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
You'll have we have a lot of applicants. A lot of students won't be in school on 23rd, that's why.
No, yeah, exactly.
That's many staff, I'm saying. Right. The next we have item number 7. I'd like to have a motion to approve items 7.1 and 7.4, right?
Yes, so we're very happy. We received 2 mini grants from the East Hampton Education Foundation, and we thank teachers Megan Leiden and Sandra Vecchio for applying for these grants. One is for sensory equipment that's going to be used in our pre-K building, and the other is for chicken incubation apparatus that's going to be used at the middle school. So we thank them for writing the grants, and we also thank the East Hampton Education Foundation for providing this opportunity for our kids. So we have both 7.1 and 7.2 accepting the donations for those grants. And I say once again, we thank them for that. And then 7.3, we have a resignation for the purpose of retirement for a teacher who's been here a very, very long time. In June, we have a few retirements that are coming up this year, and we will acknowledge all of those staff members in June when they retire. The first is Joan Brandt. She's been here for a long time, as many of you know. She was here when I first worked here. And she's a wonderful, wonderful teacher, and she will be very much, she'll be really missed. But she'll be retiring in June, and we will acknowledge her then. But all the teachers, by February 1st, if they're going to retire, we'll have some on the next board meeting, are supposed to let us know so that we can plan for the following year as far as recruitment goes. So we appreciate them getting their notice to us, and we'll have a couple more coming up. And obviously, we wish her very well in her future endeavors. And then tonight, and one of the favorite things I have to do, we have an amend and granting of tenure, and we have a teacher here that we want to acknowledge. And originally, her tenure date was going to be a year from now, but because she had tenure previously in a New York State district, which is state ed law, she's receiving tenure now. I had the privilege and opportunity to observe her. She's a local resident. She has a child in the school, and she's a real asset to the Springs community. So we are very, very excited to recommend tenure for Diane Shoemaker. And I'd just like you to come and accept some flowers. There you go.
Yeah. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's a pleasure working here.
Yeah. Pleasure having you.
And then just lastly, we have our enrollment report. And then our update. For our update, just to update the board before I get into enrollment, just as you know, we had a lot of work done through our repair reserve that began over the break, the winter break. The installation of the fence on the side of the kindergarten parking lot has been installed. It looks really nice. I don't know if you've had the opportunity to look at it. They're also working on the kindergarten playground. It's been, all the wood chips are gone. They're putting the surface down, and that should be completed by the end of the week. We're excited to get that done. It's going to be a nice enhancement to that entire area. Also, we have Ashlar, who is the company that's going to be doing, as you know, during the last public hearing we had for the repair reserve, we're replacing all the soffits, the gutters, the cupola, all of which are rotting. As you can see, we did a tour on the outside, and we're getting all of that replaced. They did a little mock-up for us. It's going to look really nice, and we're excited to replace it with it's aluminum cladding so that it will not rot, and it will be very similar to the cladding that's in the back of the building. And I think that's going to be just a nice addition to the front of the building, the side of the building, and all those places that you see where the paint is peeling and the wood is rotting. So we're excited to have that done. And then also, we're getting a lot of quotes in. We've talked about a lot of different projects that we have inside the building that need to be addressed as well. We have a meeting coming up with our Buildings and Ground Committee to look at, we've received quotes now for those projects. We'll talk about the projects at the meeting and what the priorities are. They'll bring that to the entire board so we can decide what are the projects we would like to move forward with. So we're excited about getting things done. As Mr. Schneider mentioned in his budget presentation, there's nothing more important than being sure that we're good stewards of the building and that we're maintaining it and keeping it in proper working order so it doesn't cost more in the long run, which is what happens if you don't maintain. Also, just want to know, I met with local superintendents and Assemblyman Schiavone last week. We were discussing the fact that we need to have a feasibility study for the school bus fleet electrification plan, which districts will be submitting to the state sometime in March. So we're going to go out for an RFP for a study to see what the costs are for actually putting this project in place. There's a lot of questions about the challenges that the East End faces as well as other districts about the cost of busing, the cost of getting electric power, installation of charging facilities, whether the buses, how long they can be charged for. So there's a lot we need to look into. The study will give us this information. State will receive studies from a lot of districts, and we're hoping that they're going to put the timeline down the road a little bit so that we're sure we have all the infrastructure and all the costs in place before we do things that we're not quite ready for. So just to update you on that. And then this week, just to let you know, we had a wonderful 2 weeks with our fabulous variety show who's been visiting the school over the last 2 weeks. They're really enhancing our performing arts curriculum. They've been working in the PE classes, teaching students dance from all different cultures and from all around the world. And just the kids have been having a blast, as well as teachers. They had administrators and teachers participating as well. So we really appreciate being able to enhance our curriculum with some of these activities. And then just some upcoming events. Tomorrow night is our PTA meeting, 7 o'clock here in the library. All are invited to attend. Thursday evening, we have our 8th grade orientation at 6 p.m. at East Hampton High School. And then Thursday, January 29th, and January 30th on Friday is the middle school performance at Guildhall, as we were speaking about before. It's going to be Mary Poppins, one of my favorites, and I think it's going to be a spectacular performance, so I encourage everyone to attend. And that's our update for now. And just our enrollment has been really, really steady. We have 5 fewer students right now in pre-K through 8 from our last month's enrollment numbers, and 1 additional high school student. And if you look at where we were last year, can you scroll down a little, Pup? If you look at where we were last year, now you lost me now. Scroll up a little. So last year, January 21st, 2024, down a little. We had a total of 691 students, down a little, Pup. Now we're at 689 students. So you can see, we're almost very, very similar to where we were last year with enrollment, so our numbers are quite steady. Thank you, Bob.
We just have to approve 7.1 and 4. We don't have to approve the.
No, it's just,
So
yeah,
make a
you don't have to
motion
approve the enrollment.
7.1, 7.4. Motion. Okay. Oh, done. All good. Carried. Okay. Now we're going to go into public commentary number 2. Any comments or questions to the board? It'd be great. Again, we remind you to keep your talking down to about 3 minutes or so, and we cannot discuss personnel. So, anybody from the public or LGB would like to make a public comment?
We have no callers on the line.
I have a question. I can do it right now.
Yeah, you have to go up to, it's just the time to do it, public commentary.
Okay.
Yeah, just say your name, that's all.
I'm Conrad Marcicano. I've been a resident of this town for about 29 years now. And this is my first time at a school board meeting.
Well,
But my concern is the one wall court, which is adjacent to the tennis courts. The wall itself is perfect. It's the playing surface that's a horror show now. And a couple of months ago, the town engineer come down, and I happened to be here, and he did an assessment, and he determined that definitely the surface needs to be resurfaced. And he was going to do his review or whatever, and he was going to present it to the board as part of the school budget. And I just wanted to know if he's done that, and if it's going to be in the school budget to resurface that court.
I just real quickly. But,
May
Nancy, you want to
I respond? So, no, they haven't contacted us, just so you're aware about that issue. But I did mention we do have a meeting with the town on January 22nd. As you may be aware or not be aware, the town leases that property from us.
Right.
So one of the things we are going to have our attorneys there just to discuss who's responsible for maintenance of the property. We're looking at a few different issues. So it's very appropriate at this time that you bring that up, because it is something that we're looking into to be sure that
Possibility that it will be put into the school budget.
it's right now the town This is what we need to discuss. It hasn't been proposed to be put into the
Oh, and
school
Nancy,
budget.
I didn't notice it before, but posted on the tennis court, we can play after 3:30. I
Right,
didn't
and
know
that's-
that.
That's something that we're looking into as well. I know, we've been, discussing a lot of different things, and as I said, I will email you after our meeting with the town. So one of the things that's occurred is we don't have clear understanding of who's responsible for what, the property, the building, and it's something that we're going to be looking
And who
into.
does the cleanup over there?
And
It's a
all
horror
of
show.
that. So all of that is something that we're going to be making sure that we have a clear understanding between the town and the school district, so that we can be sure the property's maintained, kids are safe using the property, and the community has clear understanding of when they can use the property as well.
Okay, great. And the other thing I wanted to say, and the engineer didn't seem to be in agreement with me, but that court can lead to injuries for people.
No, and I appreciate it.
He said that if it gets approved, he's going to make it the same surface as the tennis courts, which would be like great.
Right.
And there's plenty of people using that court. I'm not the only one. I play racquetball. I drill on that court just about every day. But I've seen lacrosse people, pickleball people, handball, soccer people using that court. And
So we welcome the community using our fields and our facilities on the property through the proper channels. So we want to make sure we have everything documented properly and everything is clear, so community knows when they can use the facilities, as well as when our students are going to be using them and who's responsible for maintaining.
The biggest things we have right now.
yeah, that's great.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Anybody on LTV?
No, we have no callers on the line.
Well, I ask for an adjournment. Motion?
Second.
Okay, we adjourn. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Congratulations again. Fantastic.
Congratulations.
The meeting on the 22nd, is it open to the